Well, welcome back. Today you're going to watch the installation of a County Line universal seat that I bought from Tractor Supply, and we're going to have to utilize the existing bracket.
So we'll go ahead and pull the seat cushion off of this. Shouldn't take much. So I'm just going to cut that plate out anyway, so really not too worried about it. Alright, I've got this cleaned up pretty decent around the edges there. Should work pretty good. I'm going to take my wire wheel next and we'll knock all of this junk off of it. Alright, so I cleaned up pretty decent, really. Alright, so we just got done cleaning up the bracket. We'll go over here to the seat that I've got laid out. And I just kind of do some mock up here. So this universal seat is adjustable. So it's got these rails on here. I'm going to take those off. And then the slots that you see right here are for those to slide in and out. I'm going to use that hardware to mount up my bracket. So the hinge portion on my bracket faces the front of the tractor, and then the back side I've got to be careful of because of the way my seat back is. If it's too far forward, then my seat back is going to hit on the back of my bracket in the tractor. So I'm probably going to mount this thing somewhere in this neighborhood, and then I can utilize this top rail up here, I think you can see that, and hold the bracket in place. And then we'll just kind of see how it fits. Hopefully it'll fit good the first go around. I won't have to redo any holes. All right, so we got the bracket set in here. It goes through the pin there. So I don't have much room actually, just looking at it. So let's see what we've got. I literally have 1.5 inches until it hits this curve. And let's see here. So the back, so 2 inches is there, high. That gives me about 3. So I may need to just set the seat in here and get a feel for how it's going to set. Alright, so I placed the seat in there just to give it a dry fit, and we look underneath the bracket, at the bracket. It's looking like I'm going to have to push it all the way back. That should give me plenty of clearance that I need. I set in it just a second ago and it really worked out nice. So that's what I'm watching right back in there. So that's going to give me plenty of clearance to get in there. It's going to turn out pretty good. So I know where it needs to be. I'll pull that back out and then we'll get it lined up, squared up, and then we'll drill a couple holes in my plate and then we'll get it bolted in there. Alright, so I got the seat and the bracket pulled back out, and this is where we're going to have to be. So this side, this top side's got to be right here. So I think what I'm going to do is put it just a little bit past, and that'll give me a little more clearance from the steering wheel to the front. I do have adjustable steering wheel on this, so that'll be nice. So basically, I can center up with this hole mark. Do it right here. So that's center of the track. So I'll just draw a straight line through there and then I'll just pinpoint a couple of locations. So I'm going to put a little mark on my seat just so I know where that bracket was at, because I need to know how much room I've got right here. Literally I've got to be right at the edge is what it's looking like. So you can see my 2 marks. Just going to put a straight line across through there. I guess I could check, see if I'm 9 degrees off of the side. Probably the thing to do. Alright. So right there, on that line is where I'm going to drill 2 holes. And those 2 holes will line up with the track on the seat. And that's the only 2 spots I really have to mount. I'd like to have something a little more secure. Take this plate now. I could hook that thing up and then I got the ability to adjust it. Alright, so let's see. See where my last adjustment hole is. So it's got quite a bit of adjustment on this thing. The last one's about right there, so that would be bringing the seat forward, and this would be bringing the seat back. So let's just take this back to there. We know that this has to be flush, or if not a little bit past the back. I got my line to line up with these, so I'm going to go with that. Yeah, that should work pretty decent. So this one comes off, so I'm going to use it for my pattern because the holes match the same over here. So I'm going to put a mark right there, pull this off, flip it over, and should be able to line the thing right up. Alright, so we're back over here to the bench. We're going to draw another straight line on here to mark up our center line. So we know somewhere on this line is where we're going to drill a couple holes. We got our pattern here. Here's our line. It's kind of hard to see, but I got that line right here. Scoot back at the camera a bit. So here's the line right there. And when we were mocking it up, basically we were setting like so. There's our line, there's our center point. So we're going to be just like that. So we need to transfer this around to the other side. Probably the easiest way to do this, instead of transferring it, is let's get a couple of clamps. Just hold that thing in place and then flip it over. So let's just come up here like so. Alright, so we're over here at the drill press, and I've already got a drill bit in. I'm using 5/16 inch bolts. So let me get my table here adjusted. Probably gonna Alright, so we're back over here to the bench, and we'll go ahead and put our first rail on. So earlier we were flipped over and had this flipped over like so. So we'll roll it here and roll it there. And there's that hole and that hole. So I'm limited on space up in here. So I think for now we're just going to put our hardware straight down, like so. And I'll have to cut these off whenever I get ready to put it in the tractor, because I've got that other platform that this is setting on, so it'll hold it up. Alright, so this side over here had the adjustment on it, so I'm just going to relieve that. And we'll just flip it right over like that. The notches are to the outside, so I just rolled that plate. So we'll do just like we did on the other assembly. We'll drop our bolts in here. So I think I'm going to go right over here to the grinder and just go ahead and cut these. Actually, I'm going to cut part of the nut and the bolt off. Get the back of the seat up. It looks good, so we just got to make sure that our holes and everything lined up. So just looking at it, man, it's right in where it needs to go. All I got to do is put my rod, drive my rod through there, so let's do that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and drive the rod in here. Alright, here's the front. There's the bolt back in there, or the nut that we cut off. Got plenty of clearance, looks like, underneath there. And the seat back, got plenty of clearance there as well. And this seat also pivots up and sits like that, which makes it nice. That's why I needed to use that bracket. So it's kind of high sitting up like this for me, but definitely serves its purpose. And then all you gotta do is just pull up and down, set it back in its place, set down on it. Alright, so that will conclude our installation of the seat on this 190 using aftermarket. Just fit right in there and do a little fabrication. And we've got it in. I think it's time to head to the house. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe and leave a comment.